Year 2020 created completely new business reality. No offices, no traveling, no even business lunches. Let's take a look on what kind of 4 things from the year 2020 will remain with us in the year 2021. My name is Wiktor Doctor and you are listening to Good Morning BSS World podcast. Hello, my listeners. It's been a while when I talked to you last time. Yeah, I think it's nearly a month ago, but believe me, the end of 2020 was quite busy. So, not mentioning the holiday season, actually in business there were quite a lot of things which were happening and closing the year of 2020. I thought that for the new opening, for the new beginning of the year 2021, it might be good to take a look on some kind of trends which were created in the year of 2020 and most probably will stay with us for a longer period, at least for the year 2021 and perhaps even for the longer period of time. As I mentioned in the very beginning of today's episode, no office, no traveling, no lunches. Why those 3 were mentioned by me? Well, it looks like we didn't need to travel, we didn't need to go on business lunches, we didn't even need to stay in our offices to keep on going with our businesses. Yes, those 3, at least 3, because there were many more such items were created in 2020. So, do we really need them to continue business? My personal answer is that yes, we do need that because it creates a better, stronger and much more reliable relations between us, between people. But because the market has shown that we can live without those 3, let's take a look what will stay with us, what we will live with in 2021. I will start with the remote work. It looks like most of businesses, especially in the BSS industry, so the BPO centers, SSC centers, GBS companies, centers of excellence, IT companies, even R&D centers have moved to work to their homes. Of course, in the whole world it happened in different way. Some countries did it better, sometimes did it worse, but I will focus on Poland. I am based in Poland and here I must say everything worked smoothly. Yes, it took more or less 1 or 2 weeks for companies to move the work to the homes of their employees. It just worked. So if it works, then why to resign from that? Most probably this remote work will stay with us. Most probably people and companies will not treat it like a benefit, so like something special given to the employees, but rather like a regular type of work during the working week, working month, working year. So yes, it works. Of course, we need to realize that there are some aspects to improve that work, of course. The remote work needs the access to internet, especially in the BSS industry. So perhaps companies and employees will focus on improvement on the internet connectivity and internet stability. Secondly, the ergonomics. I think it's worth to take a look on the working conditions in our homes. Perhaps we need to improve the working area, like for example having a better ergonomic desk or chair. Yes, most probably this is something what we didn't think in the very beginning, but for the longer period of time, just from the perspective of our own health, most probably we need to improve these conditions. I personally have quite good conditions at my house, but I can imagine that some of you may not have. So let's think about that. And most probably it's a good item to talk to our companies because maybe your employers will help you actually to support you in creating a better working conditions at your homes. But what didn't work? Or maybe it worked, but it also needs the improvement. It is the management of the remote work. In some of the companies, actually excellent managers who were having great relations with their employees on the floor within the remote work environment just failed or maybe didn't work well. So I believe that in the year 2021, companies will need to focus on the improvement of remote management skills. I think this is something what all of us need to improve. There are no excellent people who provide management in the remote conditions. We don't see our employees, we don't see our colleagues and partners from our work. So most probably we just need to get more familiar with this. How do they feel? How do they work? Do they need anything more? Or maybe they just miss direct meetings. Those are all the things which management needs to understand and improve in the year of 2021. Once we mentioned the area of relations between people, so now I will talk about the second trend which started, or maybe not even started, but get bigger dynamics in 2020, and it looks like will remain with us in 2021. What is that? Those are virtual employees. Yes, if we don't need to stay at our offices, perhaps this is a good idea to grow our teams everywhere, anywhere. Yes, I can imagine a situation when a company based in Warsaw, for example, is now running the employment registration or the whole HR process within completely different locations, different cities. Like, for example, employing people in Lublin, Poznań, Gdańsk, Szczecin, Białystok, or even Garwolin, which is a smaller town in the middle of Poland. Yes, why not? If there are people with a certain skills and they can work remotely, why not to do that? Sometimes it is good from the cost perspectives, because there are locations where you can find out cheaper. Oh, I hate to mention that, but yes, there are cheaper and more expensive people who can provide us with work. But yes, that's true, so why not to mention that? Secondly, if we are missing certain skills in one city, why not to look for them in the other? So far, every company was thinking about that, to move such employee to the city where the headquarters is based, or to open a branch, an office, which is located in the city where the employee have been hired. But now we don't need that. We can employ somebody, let him or her work from their home, and just support us with our business. So the virtual employees area is creating an opportunity to have employees in new locations, is creating an opportunity to grow the business on much bigger and much faster scale than so far. So I guess that this is the second trend which have been developed in 2020 and will remain with us for 2021. The third element which I have for you today is growth of coworking in mid-sized and smaller cities. With coworking, we have experience already for over a decade, or perhaps even much longer. But actually, the last 2, 3, 4 years, those were the times when the coworking started to grow very rapidly. We know big global brands who actually expanded in various countries, cities, but there are also some local providers. So now, with the remote work, with virtual employees, it looks like coworking is opening a new era in its place on the business market. It looks like some people will rather prefer to go to the co-working space and use the professional working area with the silent spaces, with fast access to internet, with the opportunity to meet some other people from their own business or perhaps the business partners. And those are all elements which co-working can provide you. In Poland actually started in 2020 something new. It looks like co-working offices are not only now based in the big cities. You can find such locations, or you will find such locations very soon in the first quarter of 2021 in the so-called mid-sized cities or in the smaller towns. Yes, co-working operators have found out that this is an opportunity to grow their business in new locations, and it looks like this roadmap is now being created. It's just new offices are opening, and I believe very, very strongly that this will remain with us and will grow. Yes. Okay, so the third one is behind us. And what is the fourth? The fourth is that in general, outsourcing will grow. Yes, some companies so far were treating outsourcing like something untrustful, something new, something not understandable in full. But now, if we are working in the remote conditions, what do we really do? Actually, our employees who work from homes, they are outsourced. Yes, we don't see them on a daily basis. They are only on our payroll list. So why not to think now what is the core of our business and just keep in our, let's say, company's frames this core business and all the rest give to outsourcing partners. Yes, I strongly believe that this is going to be continued. Actually, there are some great examples, especially from the accounting, payroll, or call contact center areas, where companies already in 2020 decided to move this part of work to outsourcing partners. And it looks like this is going to be continued and on much bigger scale than so far. And those were the 4 short trends, which I believe, if not created, then grown in 2020 and will stay with us for the next period of time. I strongly believe that we will not forget about those 4 elements. Probably there are many more processes which will also stay with us, but those 4 I will keep on, let's say, looking at within the next weeks and months, and we will see if I was right or I wasn't. But let's recall them one more time. Remote work? Yes. Virtual employees? Yes. Growth of coworking in mid-sized and smaller cities? Yes. Growth of outsourcing? Certainly. So I leave it with you for now. It was quite short episode as for the beginning of 2021, and I keep my fingers crossed for you and your businesses to grow rapidly, to grow fast in the next months. Yes, some of this time of coming months will still keep us at homes or will limit us the connectivity with our business partners. But as we started today, do we need offices? Do we need traveling? Do we need business lunches to continue business? We don't need them, but they are of course very welcome to support all our business processes. So far, this is it for today. Thank you very much for listening. I hope you will stay with the Good Morning BSS World podcast for a longer time. And this year I keep my fingers crossed for myself actually to provide you much more content than I did so far in the 2020. 2020 was the first year of starting the podcast, and now let's see what 2021 will bring us. Remember to subscribe this podcast, and I hope to have you here in the next episode. Thank you very much. Good day to you. Bye bye.